Perfect. Well, we'd like to go ahead and call the August 17th meeting of the Lynchburg Historical Preservation Commission meeting to order. Hopefully everyone has a copy of the agenda. We do have a somewhat lengthy one, so we'll do our best to move through them in a timely fashion. As I reviewed them, it looked like most everyone had a pretty good amount of information and detail to their COAs. So for that, we thank you. Makes this process a lot easier. The first item that we have on the agenda, of course, is the approval of the consent agenda, which, as you see there, is item number 1. So do I hear a motion regarding that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Victoria, we probably don't need to do a roll call for that one, right?
A couple that were done.
All right, let's see. So we can go ahead and start with our action items. The first one that we have today is regarding 1371 Rivermont Avenue. And we will, if you could just state your name and address for the record, whoever is representing that particular property that we come to.
Yes, Don Ayers, Lynchburg Construction Company.
Thank you for being here.
800 VES Road, Lynchburg, Virginia, 24503.
Thank you so much. If you'd like to go ahead and just give us an idea of the work that's to be done or petition on the COA, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, we're just trying to get approved the colors. We want to do white on the trim. There's a dark blue denim for the body of the home. And there was like a fuchsia, dark burgundy color for the dentile on the home that the homeowner had picked out. And she had actually got the color from a property about 2 blocks down from hers.
Okay. Great. It's relatively straightforward. Any commissioners like to discuss this?
Yeah, that's the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to talk about it a little bit. It's kind of the opposite of what it says in the guidelines. The trim should be dark. The house, you had it in there some way, reds, you had a few colors. Can you pull those up, what the guidelines say? So this is the Queen Anne. Okay, so Queen Anne, body, tan, red, green, brown. All those colors would be like a medium color. And then it says trim and accents, dark colors, such as dark olive, salmon, but dark brown. So, he wants to paint the trim white and the body of the house dark, which is just the opposite of what the guidelines state. So I would say that these not a color that would have been on Queen Anne houses. Not appropriate for that house or a Queen Anne house.
The existing trim on the house was white.
Yeah, and that's fine. If the existing trim is there and you want to repaint it, I think you can repaint the existing trim color, what it is, but certainly not change the color. I mean, that looks like a tan color to me, which is a color for a Queen Anne house, but certainly not a black body.
Right, I agree with Rick that it's totally inappropriate, the colors as proposed. And that house really stands out on Rivermont. So I would move to deny the application, actually.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion or suggestions? Other than obviously, it sounds like everyone's saying just follow the guidelines.
Well, my suggestion would be to go with colors more toward what the guidelines suggest.
Yeah, Victoria has the ability to approve colors that are in line with the guidelines.
Okay.
So,
And I think they should be more muted colors, I think is what you normally see in those. That purple also is a way out there color.
yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is just the homeowner picking this out, not me.
I understood.
Yeah.
I think if we'll call for a vote here in a second, but I would say that, you know, providing the information on the guidelines here to the homeowner, if they didn't already have this, would certainly help them in their quest for repainting this house with appropriate colors.
Okay, so that will be supplied to us?
Yes.
Okay, that will be awesome.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion that's been submitted, which of course is denial of the COA as it's been submitted. Victoria, do you want to do the roll call?
I can do the roll call. Commissioner Erguiagua?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Yes.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Right.
Great, thank you. So that shows that it was denied as submitted, and we will await further revised COA, which might not actually come to us. If it meets the guidelines, Victoria, you can review at your discretion.
Mm-hmm. And I'll email you a copy again of the guidelines so that you can have them and provide them to the homeowner.
Excellent.
Victoria,
Thank you very much.
Has the COA for the other repairs been submitted? I assume the wood rot and whatnot's going to be addressed.
I believe so. I don't have it on the top of my head right now, but I do think there were other administrative actions.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, next we can move on to 2209 Rivermont Avenue. Is there a representative here? Oh, I think I see him.
Yes, I am here. This is Tyler Gunther speaking.
Good to have you here with Mr. Gunther. Could you please provide your address for the record?
2209 Rivermont Avenue.
Thank you very much. If you would just go ahead and give us a brief rundown of your COA, please.
What was the work that was being completed? There was a gravel driveway. We were going back with a concrete driveway, and we were just planning on using just some retaining wall block as a landscape border. And then we got into it just to retain a little bit more soil. And due to the gas line that was there, we ended up just going up a couple more blocks. So.
Great. Okay, any commissioners like to make a motion on this COA?
I think the concrete is acceptable in the guidelines. Now, also, he said he wanted a concrete wall, but that's not concrete, that's some sort of a
CMU.
Well, that is concrete. That's
yeah.
Okay.
It
resembles a stone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
you want to do an approval?
I think real stone wall would have been more appropriate, but he's got this built, so I assume this is built. I mean, this isn't a.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is an after the fact kind of thing.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct. So one of the reasons
How far out is that wall going?
it's coming towards the street or to the house.
Well, it's not finished in that picture. Is it going all the way to the end of the driveway?
No, it stops right there. There's just one more block that has to be turned back. That's it. It doesn't get any higher. That was it. The one reason to do a large footer, we would have been into the gas line. If you see the gas line by the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right there.
Well, I think, like I said, a stone wall would have been more appropriate. I guess it's up for discussion if we would have approved this initially, if you brought it in before you built it, before after the fact.
I guess it would have been in with a split face.
Yeah, it's probably right.
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah. I'm gonna make a motion. I mean, does anyone else on the committee have any feeling on this?
I personally don't have an issue with it.
Who was that?
It was Chris.
That was Chris.
For some reason, we don't see faces on ours.
Yeah, I like to get
I think my preference would be with you, Rick, that it would have been a stone wall, not something as modern of a look, if you will. But I don't know that this is. I don't know that the guidelines prohibit this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do the guidelines say, Victoria? Is there something in there about this?
The guidelines weren't too clear on this type of wall. What I pulled was something from the landscaping part, where it says that wall is constructed with comparable materials.
stone on the other side of the driveway is
Is
stone.
that comparable materials to what? Why retaining walls should have the walls constructed in comparable material? Well, I guess that's comparable, isn't it? Comparable or compatible?
Comparable.
What does that say? Oh, that's the.
These are copy and pasted.
Oh, sorry.
It's supposed to be compatible. I could put that in a list of things to change in the guidelines.
Faces, I'm not.
You think so? Chandra, what do you think?
Are you asking me?
I'd say yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'd move to approve as submitted.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it
Any further discussion?
reluctantly.
Hearing none, we can go ahead and call for a vote. Go ahead, Victoria.
You're on mute. If I'm first again, then I say aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsy?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Excellent. Well, Senor Gunther, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. McSwain.
All right, folks, thank you. And we will move along to the next item.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Next item is 1318 Church Street. Miss Marion, are you there?
I am.
Oh, okay, very good. If just for the record, if you would state your name and address and then kind of walk us through what you're looking at on your COA.
Nancy Marion, 117 Madison Street, Lynchburg. The first item, to add the wooden fence to the front entrance, I just need to be able to keep my dog in, so I need a gate between the sidewalk at Church Street and the sidewalk going down beside my building. And I also need a handrail for the couple of steps that you saw in that picture a second ago. So that's all one thing, the railing to the front porch and the fence is sort of all in piece. And then the second thing is to build a shed in the back that's not visible from much of anywhere, except Chris, you might be able to see it from the hotel. But, and that goes behind 1322 Church Street, behind the parking lot. So none of it's visible from Church Street.
Mm-hmm.
But I plan to build it with materials. The siding will look like the house, and the windows will be pretty much like what's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Great. And the third item?
That's all of it. It's just 2 items, really. It's a fence and a
I
railing.
see. Yes,
Yeah.
I see. I'm sorry. Those 2 items were, I see. Okay. Commissioners?
Victoria, do you have images?
Images of the house?
Yeah, that were something that was submitted.
I do. I have.
Could you put those up, please? Rick and I don't have an iPad with separate.
Mm-hmm. Here's the rendering of the fence and railing.
The fence and the rail look perfectly fine, I think. But the issue is with the shed. You're saying you don't see that, but I mean, I didn't. Is it like below grade or something? Because isn't there a parking lot in front of it?
Yes, there is.
Let show. Yeah. Could you show where the? Yeah, right there. That photo. Isn't that a flat parking lot?
Yeah, Victoria, do you have? Well, here. Can you see me? Can you see this thing? Does that help you?
Just about, if you could lower your camera some.
Like that?
Perfect.
So it's down the hill.
I don't know what you're seeing because I can't see what you're seeing.
We can see it. You're good, Nancy.
Okay.
So
yes, it's below
so
the
you're saying
parking
it's
lot.
so you're saying it's tucked down the hill below the parking lot.
Right. Here
And how
is again, I can't really tell what you're can't tell what you're seeing, but that's the view from the Craddock Terry parking lot, and this is the view from the air behind the house.
So how far below the parking lot is that, do you think, approximately?
The top of the roof would be about at the level of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shed roof.
We also had 2 images of that shed, the red one you just showed, and there was another one that was, it looked like, sort of like vertical siding. It was beige in color.
I don't know what that was.
That was on the application.
I didn't submit it.
You see that, Victoria? Unless that was a different house I'm thinking of. Maybe
No, that's a different one.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, there you go.
Is your house brick?
No, it's not.
It's the old part in the front facing Church Street is brick, and all of the additions in the back that have happened over the past 100 years are frame.
And so you're obviously going to do it with, like, the back of the house.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just a potting shed with no electricity. There's really no need for a brick house there that I can see.
And Nancy, the access in that picture, we're seeing a little small door to the end, so you'll enter through a walkway down to the bottom and the end of the structure?
That's right.
Okay.
And how big is it again?
10 by 20.
So in essence, she'll walk along down this lower level and go in that door right there.
You put a car in there, it's kind of big.
There's no way you could get a car to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that big kudzu hill below it.
Yeah.
I'd move to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Great. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. Victoria?
Commissioner Erguagua,
Aye.
Commissioner Horner,
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey,
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain,
Aye.
Commissioner Morris,
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester.
Aye.
Great. Miss Marion, thank you so much. We appreciate the very detailed information there, and good luck with your work.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks, we can move along to 618 Pearl Street.
How's it going? My name is Josh Stanivan, owner of 618 Pearl Street. And we are requesting permission to replace the railing system on the second balcony porch. It's been, if anyone's driven by our house, you can see it's almost rotted to the point where the railings aren't even there anymore and the columns aren't there anymore. But we are requesting to do that with AZAC. My father is a licensed contractor in New Jersey. And I know the bylaws say like kind material, but we're using this, the product is called Intex Millwork Solutions. I actually can post a direct link to their site in the chat if that's helpful. But they pretty much do wood-looking AZAC material, and so my father can pretty much make the exact specifications of what's currently there, and I don't think it would look any different, and it would be much more safe and secure than what's currently standing, and it won't rot, which is obviously a big component because that's part of the house is completely exposed to all the elements. Is there a way to post something in chat here or not?
I think so. Victoria?
Should they?
I don't see the option at the bottom of my screen, but I might just be missing something.
Click show conversation. It's kind of a call out looking shape.
He wants to show something.
Show participant. I can actually, if it's all right, maybe I can actually share my screen. Yeah, I'll share my screen with you guys real quick.
Well, that's fine. I want to say something.
Yeah, so this is some of their material. Is that big enough for you guys? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is all the material that will be used. As you can see, I mean, from my eye, it looks like wood. It doesn't look like any of the fake plastic things you'd see, but it won't rot.
Okay, let me interject here because you know, you got two architects here, so we can give a pretty good insight to this. I had the exact same problem on my house, which is also a Greek revival. And so I understand your predicament, and I did use AZAC to replace it. So, and it looks exactly the same. I didn't have panels, mine was just flat. But this is a common problem. The caps on these things leak, water gets in here, and they just rot away. So I don't have any problem with the AZAC in itself. I think that is a comparable product, and I think it will look exactly the same. However, it looks like the profile of, well, let me explain the difference with what you're suggesting and what I did is I actually had my rails reproduced in mahogany, so they would not rot, but I reproduced them to exactly what was there. And it seems like this top and bottom rail would differ. I assume your pickets are going to be the same dimension.
The pickets would be the same dimension, yes.
Okay, so, and the bottom rail seems pretty simple. It looks to me like that. I'm trying to see the bottom of that bottom rail from the front, but I don't see any pictures where you could see that. And it looks flat too.
Yeah, this is right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a bit of it and it looks flat. So the bottom rail that you're proposing is not flat. So that would be one issue. And then the second issue would be the rail and how it wraps around the post. Now, I assume you could do that pretty easily, but the rail looks like it's a different profile.
You mean how the pickets come to the bottom of the rail?
Well, just the rail itself. I mean, look at, it looks like it's like a flat rail
Yeah, so what we're requesting to replace it would look slightly different. I think it would be a little bit more elegant, but yes, it would not be identical, but our logic is it's 2 stories high, removed from the sidewalk.
Well, what does your rail on the porch look like below that? Is it the same as this one?
It does look the same, yes.
So that's what we're trying to match. So my issue would be, no, that's not an issue, but I think what we would need to see, or what I would need to see, is if you got a tape measure and you actually took your tape measure and you put it on that rail and you sent a photograph of it so that we could see the height and the width of that rail and a detailed drawing of it or a cut section through it. You know, if you have a piece of rail that's totally rotted that you could take off and cut it so that we can see the profile of that, just like what you're showing us. You're showing us the profile of a top rail and a bottom rail, but we don't know what your top rail and bottom rail are. But they should be duplicated, if not exact, very close to that. And I think your profiles are off. So that, you know, so it may be, if your father's a contractor, he could do the rails in wood, but, you know, in a species that would not rot, you know, cedar, mahogany, what's that Italian wood? What is it?
IPE? Is that what you're?
Yeah, Ipe. Ipe, I think it's called. So there are a few options for wood. If you can't come close with and I think you're going to be restricted with AZAC as far as their rails go. I think they're going to just make standard. What's that one at the bottom? Look, that's one that says 7 inches on top. What is that one right below there?
Sorry, that was the only picture I had. The RS205.
See, now that looks like it might be more. You know, the width of that might be more accurate. But see, we don't know what the width is. It may be 5 inches like you showed at the top, but we don't know.
Look right there.
So, well, that is mahogany. Oh, that is mahogany cap. That says original mahogany. So you're doing the
optional. It's an optional mahogany cap. Hold on one quick second. The lined paper with the hand drawing on there are those that one. Is that what you're proposing to do, or is that the original measurements right there?
Those are the original measurements. So my father was reconstructing pretty much everything as pretty much the exact specifications.
That top rail is 3.5 inches wide by 2 3/4 high. Is that what it is?
Yes, I believe that's what those measurements are.
Okay, 2 3/4 by. All right, so it's. I don't know what that. You're right that on the next page, that RS20700, it would be interesting to see. I can't see the measurements behind it. There's a bar on my screen with controls for this meeting. I can't see what the measurements are, if they're any closer to. Because I think what Rick was saying is that one, the base of it appears wider. So I'm not sure if they have, obviously they have multiple options. One that's closer to that, your original.
Okay. So for those, I guess the next question is, this might be dovetailing a little bit, so I don't want to take us off too much of a course. But I guess the 2 questions I have would be, 1, would it be possible to change the railings to go in line with the RS20500? If not, if we find a railing that is either we decide to make it out of wood like you guys mentioned, or if this RS20700 is a better fit, or if we find a better fit, is that something that requires another monthly meeting, or is that something now that Victoria, now that she knows the requirements, is able to administratively approve?
We can issue, or the commission can issue conditional COAs. So that's always an option. If they decide that under certain conditions they will grant this, then it can be done that way too.
Okay.
I would say as long as within a minute tolerance, I don't think it would be a problem. Commissioner Lipsey, do you have an issue with that either?
No, I think if you came back with subsequent information like Rick has been talking about, showing the existing top and bottom rails and a new proposed that was within close tolerance, as Commissioner McSwain says, that I'd be fine approving with Victoria being able to review that via subsequent so that we didn't go a whole nother month.
I think what you gotta, what you have to look at, Josh, is, and understand is that Greek revivals are very simple. They're not elaborate like Victorians and all these other houses. So I agree with what you said. You probably, if you used a different rail, it probably would be a little more elegant, but that's not really appropriate for a Greek revival. They're just, the details are very simplified in Greek revivals. So that's what you got to be aware of.
And it may be that you could find one of the ASICs that are big enough, and if your contractor, your father, could take it and mill it to the more simple profile to match the existing without having to, find a mahogany or something else, and could simply modify a larger piece down to the smaller size with the correct profile.
I mean, it looks like that bottom rail is almost a flat kind of a stock, isn't it? It doesn't look like that's got any kind of profile to it.
Your existing.
From the outside, there's almost no profile at all.
So that should be easy to duplicate in mahogany, or probably AZAC even has something that, I mean, it's just flat, so you probably can get something with AZAC for that. Your issue with that picture right there is that your water is coming down those pickets and sitting right on top of that, and you even got a little pocket, which should not be like that, because your water sits right in there, and of course that's what's going to rot everything out. So if you look to your right, you can see all the cracks in that thing, and you can see where the water has just been seeping in there. So that's, so I'm not saying to duplicate that, because that's a bad design. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, it's a simple flat stock. You usually put, when your pickets come down, you usually put some sort of a slight angle or a V angle so that your water can shed off that.
And it may be sloping to the back.
And it may be sloping. It doesn't look like it is here, but it very well could be. And so yeah, I think that shouldn't be an issue with AZAC or any kind of stock. You could duplicate that. I think the issue more is trying to get that top rail to match and be consistent with the top rail that's there, and also what's below it on the porch, since they do match.
Understood.
And again, I don't think you have to match it exactly, because that is higher, you don't see it, but it needs to come real close to that profile.
Understood. So what would be the subsequent information that I need to know? One was the tape measure for measuring the width of the railing and the height of the railing.
Mm-hmm. And
Victoria, do you feel okay with approving this administratively?
Well, what I would do is I would send you an email, or send you in the advocate and our architects an email laying out that this is what Josh provided.
I think if you emailed it to either Emmett or me, sure. And because we're in the same office, so we can both review it, and I think that would be the quickest way to do it, and we can say, yeah, that seems like it meets it. If the rest of the commissioners feel comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna make that a motion?
Yeah, so I'll make a complicated motion here. We approve the material of AZAC as submitted, with the exception of well, hold on, let me back up.
If I could suggest that you can do handrails on the condition that measurements are provided.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So with the pickets being exactly the same size as they currently are, the posts being the same size and profile as they currently are, and the rail would be resubmitted, the bottom and top rail would be resubmitted for approval.
For a close match.
For a close match to the original.
I'd second that.
Anyone have any questions or comments? Hearing none, we can call for a vote on that.
Commissioner Iguiagua?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Great. Looks like we're good to go. Mr. Standyven, you're good on that?
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you. We appreciate your being here.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, next up, 1005 Harrison Street.
Hi, we're Taylor and Aubrey. We're at 1005 Harrison Street, and we are proposing two different things. One is a privacy fence in the back of the house that will match our rear neighbor's house. You'll see a picture of it here in a second. It won't exceed 6 feet, and it has kind of a wave to it where it dips down close to 5 feet. And then we're also proposing a guard shed or a shed in the back for storage that's going to match the style of our home. You can't see it from the street at all.
Okay.
And that's basically where the fence is going to be. There's going to be a gate a little bit further than halfway back on the right side, extending along the side of our property to a retaining wall in the back. And then there will be another piece of fence on the other side of the house that'll just block off access from our dogs escaping on the side of the yard.
Great.
Got you. There you go.
This fence matches the neighbors?
Yes, there's a house on Federal Street behind us that it'll match.
There's
So I
this,
assume we approved the other fence.
Is that true, Victoria? Do we know the adjacent?
This is the material that I do have that's existing.
It's
Neil Bonner. I think he used to work on the commission. He said that it was approved, but I haven't seen the material.
It's Neil's house. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't have anything about that little scalloped sort of design, but, we certainly make, we can make exceptions, and which I don't really think that's an exception. I think the issue here is that we do accept these type of vertical boards for fencing. I think that's appropriate for the neighborhood, and and I think it really does meet the guidelines. So I don't see any issue with that. And I know the house I drove by, you really can't see anything in the back. So I think that I would make a motion to approve this as submitted.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions, comments, or concerns?
For the notes, is this for the fence or the entire application?
The entire application.
I would say, yeah, both of them. Nice cat you got there, Chandra. Nice tail.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote.
Nice eyes.
Yeah.
Commissioner Iguiagua?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lifsey?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Again.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Sorry, Victoria, I muted him before you could vote.
Excellent. Well, folks, thank you so very much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Yeah.
Next up, we have 1000 Court Street. Hopefully Ms. Chitma is with us today.
Hi, Anna's not with us today. My name's Elizabeth Baxter, and I'm going to be acting as her representative.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right. So we have quite a few items on this agenda. I guess I'll kind of throw this out there for the commissioners. Did anyone have any major issues with this? Do you want to break it down into pieces or hear it as a whole and go from there?
I think the most expedient way would just to go through everything, and then we'll just pick out any that we have issues with, if we have any issues.
Sure. All right, please, if you'd like to go ahead and just kind of hit us with the list and we'll go through them.
Okay, yes, it is very lengthy. So the first few things that we are proposing are to the front of the property off of the entryway right off of Court Street. We have a existing brick patio. Oh yeah, there are my markups. So we have an existing brick patio area along the entryway that we want to demo this wall where you see the blue line. Mm-hmm. We want to demo that wall where the existing stairs, column, and patio are, and shift everything over to where I have this pink layout for a new staircase and walkway to the main entry of the building from the driveway. The current column that's there is in disarray and is not original to the building, which is my understanding.
And so what do you want to put in its place?
So we just want to remove the column in its entirety. We want to infill the existing stair gap that's there, and then we want to build a new. I have 4 foot wide staircase on the other side of where the column is, to that pathway that'll lead to the entry of the property.
All those columns?
Just that one.
No,
just you're just getting rid of one column.
Yes, just the one column.
Okay.
And then cutting in a wall about midway.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are we gonna approve these like one at a time? How are we doing this? Or are we approving the whole thing?
Victoria, what's easiest for you to manage this information?
I have lots of sheets of blank paper, so it's entirely up to the commission.
All right. Let's handle them one at a time. How does that sound?
All right.
Everybody okay with? Actually, I'm sorry. Go ahead if you want to make a motion on that.
What I was going to suggest is that maybe if any commissioners find an issue with an item, we'll address those issues. If not, we'll just kind of move along with them, and then at the end approve it, because this way we don't have to go through everyone approving and for 10 items.
That's fine. I don't hear any. Does anyone have any major issues with? Not here. I don't.
I don't.
None.
Perfect. Number 2.
All right, perfect. Because number 2 kind of ties into if we remove the column and the existing stairs and do the infill, putting the new stair in on the other side of that area. And then installing this new sidewalk. It comes from the existing sidewalk up the driveway and curves into the main entry.
So so it's a new sidewalk on access at the very front?
Yes.
Do we have a picture of what the existing looks like?
There is no existing sidewalk in that area. It's just a driveway.
So go back to the picture, please. Yeah. So that fence and wall continues all the way across the front?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've got, because it shows this in purple, but then it shows another one in the front in purple.
Yes, there is another small one at the very front of the building, because right now the front side of the building is nothing but a brick patio area. So that was another item to remove the existing patio pavers, to make a green space, and then to install these 2 new sidewalks along the front.
Okay, well, that's a separate item?
Yes.
All right, so this one, so what is going to be on the side of the, I saw the sidewalk, what else is on the side of it? Is that landscaping?
Yes, we are going to have, in this little driveway area that you're currently looking at on the screen, we have landscaping that's going to go in here. We also have a lot of the utilities, like a new Dominion power pole that's being placed, and then the RPZs and the RPDA for the property.
Okay, can we see that plan again with the sidewalk?
So she's got a new.
So that sidewalk is brick?
Yes, we were gonna use a brick edge with, the aggregate fill. And I have a picture that I submitted with an example of what we wanted to use. We had used it at our other project, 2001 Rivermont.
All right, can we see that?
Yeah, it's the same as the old Seven Hills School.
Well, do we have a picture of it? I don't remember it.
Do you have that, Victoria?
Yeah, we do. It's in the package.
We've got a picture.
Do you have the submittal?
There it is. Up.
Oh.
Go back. Right there. That same type of pattern.
There.
Okay. Is that new right there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And then what else? Since we're still on the front of the property, I had mentioned that if, I hate to skip down to 9, but since we're on the front there, I submitted a layout of all the service equipment that we're going to be placing along this driveway area. That kind of coincides with the installation of the new sidewalks and such.
Does that exist, Victoria, that plan? Maybe no.
1 second.
There it is. Yeah, so as you can see in the blue that I have, that's our approved location from Angela Hefner down at the city office, that we can put the RPDA and the RPZ in the hot box in that location. The green is our new electric meter placement, which is currently an existing location, but we're adding more meters since we have more units. And then we have the new Dominion power pole location for the service upgrade. And then in the back side on the all the yellow with orange dots is where we're doing our mechanical unit placements, which is hidden. Nobody can see that from the street.
So does that drop down? Does the grade step down there?
On the back side of the building?
Where those HVAC units are?
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, those you never see.
Okay. So you walk back there?
Well, I know the house.
Okay.
What is this becoming? Offices or apartments?
It is becoming, what is it? Seven apartment units.
Do you have any issues with any of that?
No, I've walked the property before. That's a great location for that equipment.
And then the other items that we have on the list were on the back area, installing new patio spaces, fence along the existing stone retaining walls.
What are we talking about now? The rail?
Yeah, so this is the fence that we want to put along the existing stone retaining walls. We have a 2-tiered garden, an upper and a lower, that we want to put into place so we can make that a nice tenant amenity area.
So that's in the rear of the house, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I think those fences are 48. I think those are in the guidelines, aren't they, as being?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
It's no issues.
No issues here.
No issues.
And then I believe the only other thing to discuss is the paint colors for the exterior. I've listed the 2 Sherwin-Williams colors that we would like to utilize, and I've also submitted 2 color samples for the windows and just the wood trim on the house.
Do we have samples of those in here?
So there's the colors, but.
Oh. So what is that? Is this the wall color? Is what you're talking about?
Chopsticks is going to be for the windows, cornice, and corbels, and then the green-black color, the dark color, will be on all the doors.
Okay.
Can we go back to the elevation, please, Victoria?
Elevation.
There we go.
Now those corbels, are you painting the corbels? I mean the coins?
Yes.
The coins too?
Oh, no, sorry, not the coins. Sorry.
Okay.
No, we're not.
So all the corbels and the fascia and soffits will be one color, which is the dark. That was the darker color, correct?
That was the.
No, that's the light color.
No, light color.
Tan.
Oh, that's the tan.
It's about the color of the coins, it looks like.
Yeah. And then the doors and the window sashes will be the tan?
Yes.
No, the dark.
The window set?
The window sashes will be the chopsticks color. The only color that's going to be the dark color is the entry door.
Okay.
Okay. All right. No problem with that over here.
None. That's it.
That it?
I believe that's everything on the list. And I don't remember hearing any major issues that weren't worked out. Does anyone like to make a motion?
The meters. I mean, I don't know what you're going to do about that.
I move approval of the application.
I'll second.
Any other questions? It sounded like maybe Commissioner Morris, you were asking about the location of the meters. I know that they're being placed in the location of the existing meters that are on the building.
We were talking about the hot box.
Okay.
Which basically is a city requirement. It's not a lot of, we can get around it.
That's correct.
Is that going to be screened?
We're going to have plants planted around the hot box area. So it's going to have landscaping.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
What's the existing concrete patio? Is that staying the same?
Oh, on the back side of the property?
No, the front.
Oh, the front. Let's see. No, it's not.
So are you proposing something for that?
For a lot of the existing concrete areas, we are currently demoing them and then redoing with the new sidewalks. And then we're trying to do more green space. Like the front patio is mostly brick pavers. And in that back, actually, if you go back to that one backside picture, that one, we're proposing to demo that patio and then do the same type of side patio that are in the same style that we're doing out front with the brick border and then the aggregate pour on the inside, on the interior. We're planning to do that for this patio because it's in such poor state, and the patio to the lower garden.
Will that be on a subsequent COA?
It was actually all included in this application.
It's hard material, so it's going back in the same. So in that it's hardscape material, shouldn't be an issue. It's going in essence like kind.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's number 5.
And there's a plan layout too of the back garden on the site drawing showing the proposed patio layout. There we go. The proposed patio and the 2 sidewalks.
Great. I guess we can call for a vote unless there are any other questions or comments.
Commissioner Iguiagua?
Aye.
Commissioner Horner?
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsy?
Aye.
Commissioner McSwain?
Aye.
Commissioner Morris?
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester?
Aye.
Great. We thank you so much for such a detailed application. That's wonderful. And you guys are doing great work on that house. It's phenomenal.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And I hope you have a great week.
All right. Thanks. You too.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, we have 2934 Rivermont Avenue. Hopefully we didn't lose the prizes.
No, we're here.
We're here.
All right, very good. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if you'd like to just give us a little update on this information. I think we visited this before, but now it looks like we have a great plan and some nice visuals to go along with that.
Yes. What we've met with our landscaper. Of course, he has come up with this. But this plan shows that the current driveway will be edged with brick pavers. Hopefully this will help tie in what we're calling a courtyard off to the left. We will remove the current sidewalk and replace that with matching brick pavers and create a courtyard area in the front with benches and have landscaping, small boxwoods, outlining, and planters. So this does not look like an area where a car could turn around, but that we could offer it to visitors and delivery people if they don't feel comfortable backing out. We felt like the edging along the driveway would tie the courtyard in to the existing driveway better. We did not want to use any more asphalt. But this would create probably a border of possibly 12 inches a foot on either side of the driveway just to make it a little wider. And we did flag this area off. Our Tom Gertie, our contractor, and also the landscape designer from Southern Landscape Group came out, and we flagged the area off and practiced backing in and out and with different size vehicles. And this area works for that. We've had a couple people stop by and they did notice, that the landscaping on the right actually belongs to our neighbor, Dr. Massey. And he allows us to trim back from our driveway, but it's really not ours to cut down or do any invasive trimming to that. So this allows us an area where we can offer our guests and delivery people to turn around without backing out onto the road on Rivermont. We have seen a definite increase in sidewalk traffic during the pandemic. And the speed at which people try to pass to get to the Oakwood stoplight is sometimes alarming at the speed they take on Rivermont.
Understood. Great. Commissioners, anyone care to make a motion?
You didn't have to go through that long, lengthy ordeal. It looks beautiful. I wish that some other people could follow this sort of a plan like this and do exactly what you did. It's wonderful. And it's exactly what should be done when you have the issue of the traffic and you need a little turnaround. It's perfect.
Great, thank you. While I have you, as you know, you approved an addition, a screened-in porch up the back. Our home, the part of the home is going to need a new roof sooner than later. If we decide to replace the shaker shingles now, through shaker, shakes.
Shakes.
That's correct. That's something I could do administratively.
Okay.
You would need to turn in an application that Victoria can then approve administratively.
Okay. We have considered the composite, but I've never seen any used. So we'll consider that. Okay. But I've never seen any of the composite used. Have you? Is there any in the area that we could go and look at?
A composite shake?
Yes.
I think there's some in Williamsburg.
Yeah. Well, that would.
I think if you talk to a couple of the higher end contractors that would put that type of material on, they certainly could say, okay, we've put that on X location. Go by and take a look.
Yeah,
but I actually think that Colonial Williamsburg has used the composite cedar shake on some of their buildings.
Okay, we'll take a look. I have a sample, but I've never seen it actually used. So.
No, I haven't either. I have a cedar shake roof on a house I own too. So who's your contractor?
Tom Gertie.
He did the roof on too?
No, he did not. This was probably
50 or
60 years ago. It's just, it needs to be replaced on the main part of the house. When the former owner did an addition about 20 years ago, and those were fine. It does not need to be replaced. The main here sooner than later.
Okay. Great. I guess we can call for a vote the COA regarding camera.
Did we take a motion? Did anyone make something?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Commissioner Morris made a motion in that approval.
That we approved it.
All right, we have a motion and a second on discussion, but I'll ask if anyone does.
I think it should be noted in the minutes that rarely does Commissioner Morris give such high praise.
Okay. Go ahead.
Commissioner Horner.
Aye.
Commissioner Commissioner Morris.
Aye.
Commissioner Spencer Hester.
Aye.
Outstanding. Well, Dr. and Mrs. Price, thank you so much for this. We appreciate it very much, and I'm sure you're eager to get started on this project.
Thank you, Will. We just heard from Tom, and they're coming out to mark, Miss Utilities coming out to mark sometime this week. So
outstanding.
So great. Yeah. And if our front door is open, stop by for a visit.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you again. Have a great week.
Thank you. I hope you do.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, folks, I think that wraps up all of our new business there. Anything else that needs to be addressed, Victoria? No, hearing none. I guess we call the meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.